we would have a very deep conversation about what was okay and what was not okay. But you're not going to see my daughter under a waterfall wet in a bikini at 15 years old. This has to do with Michael Bay and Megan Fox. Now, if you don't know who Michael Bay is one of the biggest movie directors out there to date. He made the first and second Bad Boys movies. He's the guy who directed pretty much all of the Transformer movies. You know, he's the head of that whole Transformers franchise, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, the new ones, I mean. He's the one who directed all those as well. You know, he's kind of known for his big blockbuster summer movies. Now, obviously, Megan Fox has worked with him quite a bit. She's been in a bunch of his stuff, everything from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Bad Boys 2 to the Transformers movies. And right now, Megan Fox fans are now calling out Jimmy Kimmel and Michael Bay after this old video of an interview with Megan Fox has resurfaced and has gone viral. And basically everybody's sitting here saying that everybody has failed Megan. And we're going to pop up the video here in a second. But Michael Bay and Jimmy Kimmel are getting heat after this old Megan Fox clip resurfaced over the weekend in 2009. Mind you, this is 2009. Okay? Kimmel, in a 2009 interview with Kimmel, Fox described having to dance for the Transformers director in a bikini at age 15. And they're saying that that Jimmy Kimmel kind of smiled. And we're going to show you guys the video, the actual clip of her talking about this particular scene.
I had just turned 15, and I was an extra in Bad Boys 2.
Really?
And yeah, they were shooting this club scene. And they brought me in, and I was wearing a Stars and Stripes bikini and a red cowboy hat and like 6-inch heels. And he approved it, and they said, you know, Michael, she's 15, so you can't sit her at the bar and she can't have a drink in her hand. So his solution to that problem was to then have me dancing underneath a waterfall getting soaking wet. And that's
perfectly wholesome.
At 15, I was in 10th grade. So that's sort of a microcosm of how Bay's mind works.
Yeah, well, that's really a microcosm of how all our minds works. But some of us have the decency to repress those thoughts and pretend that they don't exist.
Right.
Okay, so as you can see, Jimmy Kimmel's under fire for said reaction, for what he said, making a joke about it, kind of letting it pass under, just kind of sweeping it under the rug, and of course saying, oh, that's what some of us, that's what most of us, what all of us think, but some of us have the decency to repress those thoughts and pretend that they don't exist. And now, mind you, she's 15 years old when this moment happened. It's Megan Fox, of course, so she's a beautiful woman. She's 15 years old, though. That's 15. And now people are saying that, hey, they were sexualizing her at the very young age of 15 years old. And Michael Bay literally was putting her out. And yes, I've actually seen the clip of where she is in this Bad Boys 2 movie. And it's a very interesting situation, So a lot of people are throwing Jimmy Kimmel and Michael Bay under the bus because of said incident that happened live on Jimmy Kimmel's show. Just to add a little bit more salt into the wound, okay? Just to pour a little bit more hot sauce in the open wound real quick. Let me explain to you how she got her big break in the Transformers movie. So, Fox got her big break in 2007's Transformers. She had to audition by washing Michael Bay's Ferrari while he filmed her. So
she noted that she was working on his Ferrari, had a wrench in her hand, and there was a lot of other people that were all present. So it wasn't just like the two of them.
true.
So that's
True. Oh, and okay, yeah. Let's
gotta
add
add
that
in a little
there.
bit more details.
Add a
into
little
it.
context into there. Yes, of course, and that's fair. Sorry, thank you, Jack, for adding into that, adding more into the story, because that's very true. Because the way I'm reading it, the way I've read it on Yahoo News, and this is the source that I'm getting it from, the article that I'm getting it from, they just made it seem like it was just by herself. It was just her and Michael Bay just chilling while she's just waxing on, waxing off on his Ferrari. Then later on, the director's crew retaliated by writing an open letter. So this is obviously a situation where Megan Fox later on called Michael Bay. She compared him to Hitler. And obviously right after that, she got fired and was not able to do the third installment of the Transformers movies. And then obviously she kind of like just fell off. But then the director's crew was retaliating, sending out an open letter, basically calling her dumb as rocks, trailer trash, and that being a porn star could be a good career option. So obviously she's gone on. I don't know how they mended their wounds or mended and worked together, but she ended up becoming April in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies and all that. And that was a Michael Bay vehicle as well. So see what I did there? Maybe she had to polish that vehicle. I don't know. You never know. So anyway, long story short, this is surfacing right now, and they're basically saying that she ain't getting no love in the club from anybody. That everybody has been basically just slamming her, throwing her under the bridge, like just sweeping everything that's going on with her. How she was sexualized at 15. How her audition tape was actually her washing a Ferrari. At a particular age, and people are finding this very, very odd and weird. And the fact that Jimmy Kimmel's reaction was like that was, as everyone says on here, they're saying that his reaction was very gross and unsanitary, if you will. So, Jack, I'm going to ask you. What are your thoughts on that situation?
I think that was an uncomfortable response back to her from him. I don't think that he was saying that he thought that way. He was just in general saying that a large portion of the society, I guess is the way he was clumping it, may have dirty thoughts, but they don't say them out loud. I don't know if the cancel Jimmy is a good thing just from his response to that. I'm sure that there's other interviews where he said other more cringy things. But I mean, they're diving deep into him and finding old videos and things like that where now he said the N-word like 6 times in a video, acting like Snoop Dogg.
Yep, we talked about that.
That came up again, and Donald Trump Jr. started tweeting that, this is who you look up to as a person that uses the N-word, and he sexualizes young girls, and then he started throwing in like cancel Jimmy as well. Megan Fox did respond on Instagram with several statements about everything because of how everything's been brought back up.
Right.
And she said, "I know that a discussion has erupted online surrounding some of my experiences in Hollywood and the subsequent mishandling of this information by the media and society in general. While I greatly appreciate the outpouring of support, I do feel I need to clarify some of the details. They have been lost in the retelling of the events and cast a sinister shadow that doesn't really, in my opinion, belong, at least not where it's currently being projected. I was around 15 or 16 years old when I was an extra in Bad Boys 2. There are multiple interviews where I shared the anecdote of being chosen for the scene and conversations that took place surrounding it. It's important to note that when I auditioned for Transformers, I was 19 or 20. I did work, me pretending to know how to hold the wrench, on one of Michael's Ferraris during one of the audition scenes. It was at the Platinum Dunes studio parking lot. There were several other crew members and employees present, and I was at no point undressed or anything similar. So as far as this particular audition story, I was not underage at the time. I was not made to wash or work on someone's cars in a way that was extraneous from the material in the actual script. I hope that whatever opinions are formed around these episodes will at least be seated in the facts of the event. Please hear me when I thank you for your support, but these specific instances were inconsequential in a long and arduous journey along which I have endured some generally harrowing experiences in a ruthlessly misogynistic industry. There are many names that deserve to be going viral in cancel culture right now, but they are safely stored in the fragmented recesses of my heart. Which I don't know what that means.
No, she got
but when it comes
stories.
to my direct experiences with Michael and Stephen, for that matter, I was never assaulted or preyed upon in what I felt was a sexual manner. I'm thankful for all of you who are brave enough to speak out, and I'm grateful to all of you who are taking it upon yourselves to support, uplift, and bring comfort to those who have been harmed by a violent and toxic societal paradigm. Man, she used some big old words in there.
Because you want to know why? Because she wants to prove that she's not a ditz. She wants to prove that she's not dumb as rocks. And I think that's what she consistently is trying to make happen, is that she's not just a pretty face, that she is actually an intelligent woman. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I embrace that. Keep using all those SAT words, girl. Keep on using them SAT words. Come on now. Because everybody else is like, oh my God, it's like totally weird. And so thank God she's doing something that's not the typical, you know, she's going against the grain, that she's actually an intelligent woman. She uses her brain, not just her body, but her brain as well. Thank you, Jesus. But at the same time, I'm going to say this. I agree to what she's saying. It's a little unfair that people are taking things out of context. And also something that happened, this was 2007, this interview? I think that's what I said, 2007. So that's like 13 damn years ago, y'all. 13 years ago, 13 plus years ago of her having this interview talking about that thing. And she said it in jest. And also she did say, listen, this is not how it turned. This is not how it turned. You know, this is not how the way you guys are, the way you're turning the lens on this is not the right way. The perspective that you're looking at is wrong. Yes, I did audition washing a Ferrari, but Michael Bay was, you know, like you just said, Jack, you know, there was people there. There were people there. There was the crew. Yes, I was washing. Yes, it was a sexualized thing, of course. But at the same time, this was a group of people. There was a film crew with him. It wasn't just me and him, and he's just with his little camcorder at that time, just shooting away. But one thing that you need to see is there was that line she said, and I need you to go back into my fragmented heart. Can you reread that line? Because that's the most important line out of that entire message that she said.
Let me pull that back up.
No worries, no worries.
She's, that one was one that kind of popped out.
While you're looking that up, hold on, Jack. While you're looking that up, the other thing I want to address really quick, while you look up find that little segment again. Let's talk about Jimmy Kimmel's reaction. Let's talk about that. I guess whoever's back there concurs. Let's talk about it. Here it is. I think Jimmy Kimmel's reaction was genuine. I don't think it was creepy at all. I think he was responding in a way that a feel-good late-night talk show host would do. It's like, okay, let me just make a funny joke. Let me just make a joke about it so we can keep moving on. Right. Because we could sit down and talk about this and go into detail about it, but this is not the platform. This is not the show. My show is, ha, 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 let's poke fun, let's have fun, let's joke around, see how beautiful Megan Fox is. She's amazing. Thank you so much. We'll be right back for more Jimmy Kimmel. You know what I mean? Isn't she amazing? We'll be right back. You know, I don't think he was in that place where he's going to go, all right, let's stop everything, everybody. This show is now a full-on special about her relationship with Michael Bay and that when she was 15 shooting that scene. That's what I personally think, you know? But what was that quote real quick?
So she said, there are many names that deserve to be going viral in cancel culture right now, but they are safely stored in the fragmented recesses of my heart. So
she got things. Yeah. She got things to talk about. She knows things. She knows things, bruh. And it's beyond Michael Bay. It's beyond Jimmy Kimmel having a weird, awkward moment with her. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. Mm-hmm. She knows some things for sure. Because here it is, though. She's Megan Fox, right? You have a 15-year-old daughter. Let's just let's all put ourselves in their shoes real quick. You are you have a 15-year-old daughter that is of Megan Fox status, right? That is just a stunningly beautiful girl, right? Now, are you going to let your daughter do that? Are you going to let your daughter be 15 years old in a bikini dancing wet in a Michael Bay movie? That's the question I guess I put out to you guys. Any person. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter if this woman, if your said daughter, hypothetical daughter, looks like Megan Fox or not. It could just be a 15-year-old girl. Would you allow your daughter to do that? Would you?
How much money are they trying to pay the people? And I think that's all, those are the things. If your child is going to be a child actor and you're putting them out there and you have an opportunity to go into a huge film.
Word. Yeah.
And that's your opportunity to get in and you think that it can be a springboard for you. I bet a lot of parents are become very lenient with what they're willing to do.
They're going to go, it's just a bikini.
Well, honey, it's up to you. I mean, you wear a bikini, you go to the pool all the time. It's up to you. You can make the decision.
Right.
Which, did you say yes?
Right. I don't know if I could be cool with that, period. But that's just me being the overprotective dad that I would be. I know for a fact. I don't care. Because I know if it's like my daughter, I have a beautiful daughter. Doesn't even have to be Megan Fox. I know for a fact that any child that I bring into this world is going to be beautiful. Would I want my child to be sexualized like that at 15 years old? Hell to the no. I don't care I don't care if this is the man who has $1 million right there saying, here's $1 million. She just has to be 15 in an American bikini, American flag bikini, wet for this Will Smith and Martin Lawrence movie, which is going to gross millions and millions of dollars. Nah, I'm not about that life. I ain't cool with that. We would have a very deep conversation about what was okay and what was not okay. But you're not going to see my daughter under a waterfall wet in a bikini at 15 years old. Hail to the no. Now, that part I'm not cool with. Now, I also know that Michael Bay has a tendency to, don't get me wrong, just like any director or any person, we all like beautiful people. We all like beautiful things. But he has a tendency, he has a history of, not saying he has a history of like being a predator or anything, but he has a history of shooting young looking women a lot of times. A lot of the stuff that he puts out is, a lot of the movies that he has are very young looking, almost Victoria's Secret type of women in his movies. And a lot of them are very, very young at during those times. So it's interesting, I don't know. It's interesting for just the thought of that happening. And then, of course, this is a world-renowned, very popular director, summer blockbusters all the time, multi-million-dollar, movies, no Oscars, but at the same time, one of the biggest names out there, and could turn you into a star. Could turn your daughter into a star. Is this something that's okay? Does that automatically mean? I don't know. It doesn't seem right. It's 15 years old, man. It's 15. It's 15. Isn't that a level of like pedophilia? Just kind of, little bit, kind of. I'm joking when I say kind of, little bit, kind of. That's some that to me that's unsavory. That's unsavory. There you go. To me, that's just weird. Yeah. Jack.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think one, she's probably, she probably faced being sexualized regardless of whether or not she was on film or not, right? Mm-hmm. It's the same situation saying, oh, you just got to go talk to Harvey Weinstein. He just said he wants to meet you in his room. Just go up there for a little bit, honey, and you can. And he said he's going to put you in a film. I imagine that there was a very big part of the culture of movie production, which seems like it's come out, of where the producers, the directors feel this amount of power that they have. And I think that they feel like they can get away with everything because it's behind, the guys in a movie. It's but I mean, it goes into, if we look in the U.S. right now, if you're between 16 and 17 years old, you have to show parental consent, but you can still get married in most states. And those are 14 to 15 years old. You can't get a marriage license without a court order, but you can still get married in a bunch of states in the U.S. at that age.
Right.
So there's a large percentage of people that are out there that start sexualizing kids at a very young age.
Yeah.
And will take the chance to marry them when they're still at 13, 14, 15 years old. I mean, I think that a lot of people used to get married at a very young age, or were, because people died earlier. So that was understandable, I guess. Start a family at 18, 17, and then you're dead by 36. I mean, that's, but to still have, there's 200,000 minors that were married in 2001.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's a culture behind it. And obviously, as a director, he knows who he's playing off to when he shoots those types of scenes, right?
You're right.
So, I mean, that's not like this would be a good scene. He's like, I think this will get some attention.
Right.
It does it for a reason.
I mean, you see,
could he have chosen another actress?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely could have. I mean, and you also got to remember, there's a lot of movies, a lot of his movies. If you go and check out a lot of his movies, a lot of it is like butt shot, boob shots, girl with orgasmic face, that kind of look. There's a lot of those things. I mean, I'm just thinking about the first Bad Boys movie, and they go to this place called Club Hell. I remember watching this as a kid when the movie first came out, and of course, I'm a kid, and I'm watching it with my sister's boyfriend at the time, and I literally said, because they did a full-on shot of like butts, boobs, orgasmic face. There's actually an orgasmic sound that is in there on top of a girl's face in this club, right? And I go, Club Hell, more like Club Heaven, and we're all like, ha, 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 high five, you know what I'm saying? And that was a Michael Bay movie, you know what I'm saying? God knows how old those girls were. I mean, I was a kid at the time, just so you know, I was a kid at the time. But it's not really, I mean, I understand that thank you for those stats and that information, Jack, because I mean, it is crazy that that kind of culture exists, and the thing is that here it is, whether Jimmy Kimmel did blackface, whether he said the N-word impersonating Snoop Dogg in a parody, fine, people can throw him under the bus over those things, but I don't think he should be thrown under the bus over that conversation that he had with Megan Fox. The person that we should really be looking at is Michael Bay, more than anything. Now it's up to everybody else, it's up to the public if Jimmy Kimmel needs to be quote unquote canceled. But I don't think it's over him having an awkward moment with Megan Fox of him being like, I don't know how to respond to this, so I'm going to kind of say something funny and keep it moving. The real person,
she was still 15.
Yes, and she was just 15.
She's not.
But the real person that we need to talk about is Michael Bay. And then it makes you wonder how many of the other girls that have been shot in all these videos that he's done, how many of those other girls were 15? And then the other thing is there's a lot of girls that are 14, 15 years old that are just gorgeous, gorgeous girls that are being groomed to become the next supermodel, being groomed to become the next runway fashion star, right? The next Naomi Campbell or Cindy Crawford or what's her face? Married Seal. I don't even remember her name. But you see what I'm saying? Heidi Klum. You know what I'm saying? The next big thing, the next big supermodel. And they're being groomed at a very, very young age. Now, Michael Bay, before he got into making movies, he was a fashion photographer. He shot a lot of young women, a lot of young, beautiful women. So who's to say that Megan Fox wasn't the only 15-year-old girl dancing in that video, dancing in that clip? There's probably plenty. How about the other movies that he's done? The multitude of other movies that he's had gorgeous girls, beautiful girls in there that were being shot. How old were those girls? You see what I'm saying? So in a way, the real question, the real attention should go to Michael Bay and not Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel just is stupid and he made a stupid joke. Michael Bay is really the one that we need to talk to or look at, And then where she said that quote of like there's other things deep in what did she say? Fractals of my heart or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just like
the recesses of my heart.
The recesses of my heart. Clearly she knows some other things. Clearly she's been a part of other things or been at other things where God knows if she hooked up with some guy who's a big time movie producer, told them, hey, I'm only 16 years old. Guy didn't even care. I don't care. You're gorgeous. Let's get it in. You never know. She obviously got into the game somehow. I'm not saying that all women get into the game through sex, but if you are someone who is highly sexualized in every movie you've done, pretty much every movie she's ever done, she's sexualized in some sort of way. Who's to say that doesn't translate over into real life?
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.